Hello, everybody. This is Dihessa, Bodjona from. I'm coming to you from Switzerland this tonight, and I hope I am in the right group. I actually have to check that to make sure that I am not streaming somewhere else. Let me make sure that I'm not doing a Facebook Live somewhere I don't intend to be doing a Facebook Live. Hello, Colleen. How are you? Let me make sure I'm in the group. So, Colleen, can you tell me, are you watching this in Biz Love Story or are you watching this on my profile or on my Facebook? Okay, I am in Biz Love Story. That's perfect. All right, so a lot of you already know that I am here in Europe. I'm spending about 10 days in Europe, and it's been so amazing. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Colleen. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't have my tripod, so my hand might be a little bit shaky, but I think that's okay. I feel a little bit tired because it's been quite a long day. I just finished an amazing, oh my God, such an amazing session right here. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, in Geneva. Like I swear to you, I've been encountering the most beautiful, the most amazing souls on the planet Earth. Like I can say that to you. Anyway, so I wanted to share some of my takeaways from this tour up to now. I know that I'll get a lot of awakenings before it's over. I still have 2 different countries to go to before I head back home. Tomorrow I'll be in Brussels. What's Brussels country? This is how tired I am. I'll be in Belgium. Tomorrow I'll be in Belgium, in Brussels, in Belgium. And then after that, I will be in Paris. In Paris, I'll do an event on Saturday. So if you are in Brussels and want to hang out with us tomorrow evening, there's information around here somewhere in the group for you to join us. It's not too late. You can still join us. If you are in Paris or want to come to Paris, actually today we've had a couple of people that came in, even though this is Switzerland, they have a border with France, and so a couple of people came in from kind of like the border with France, so everything is, like accessible around here, so that's that. So if you want to join us in France, you can. Paris event is on Saturday. You are most welcome to join. And then Brussels event is tomorrow. Tomorrow evening at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow evening. So with that said, Sarah says you wish. Where do you live, Sarah? Can you tell me where you live? I wonder where you live. So with that said, I am in really this has been my favorite hotel stay of all. It's so beautiful here. But I have to say, even though I really have loved, Switzerland so far, I think my favorite place that I have been, I don't want to make, but I have to say, I don't know, I don't want to play favorite, but I think, oh, UK. Well, I missed you. I was there. I was in London recently. I was in London, I think, a couple of days ago. Anyways, I think my favorite place that I've visited so far has been the Netherlands, which is bringing me to like one of my biggest awakenings that has happened there. So a lot of the times when we think about the Netherlands, I actually didn't know much about the Netherlands, but somehow I could feel energetically pulled to that country. So when I was there, what I noticed was that a lot of people, just kind of like the freedom, freedom of mind, freedom to be who you are. And it doesn't seem like they're maybe it's like my perspective as a tourist or something like that. But I spoke with locals, and I spoke with a lot of people that live there, and like I really really enjoyed hearing what I had, like hearing what I heard. A lot of it being how really free they feel around discussing any subject. Like even the subject of sex, for example, there's no secrecy around that. The subject that, oh, that's right, you're in Cambridge, okay, yeah. Yeah, maybe next time, right? Anyway, so that was one of my biggest awakening, that it really came to me, haha, like where there is a freedom, there is where there is really true freedom, and it feels like the kids really are raised with that state of mind. Well, it's like everything is open, right? There's no secrecy and stuff like that. I could be completely wrong, but that's the perspective that I got. I think that when there is no secret, then there is no rebellion, right? Next time for sure, yeah. I'll love that, Patricia. I'll love that. Or there is no need to sneak around, and it feels like really a healthy state of mind. All right, so that was just like a parenthesis. One other thing, so for all the states, places that I have been, I noticed that every single country, every single city that I have been, it's like every single city has its own energy, which is really interesting. Really interesting to feel. Every single city has its own energy. Sometimes it feels stuffy, sometimes it feels very free, sometimes it feels very it's very much like holding on to the old and stuff like that. And a lot of the time what I feel is that though every single space has its own energy, that it kind of also kind of affects, or that people living there also kind of a little bit reflect the energy of the place. I don't know if that even makes sense. Anyways, so that was quite a big awakening for me. And the other awakening that I can talk about is how really humbling this has been for me. Why? Because it is one thing to be behind our computers. It is one thing to be really hiding away, not hiding away, doing our work from behind our computer. But it is a complete different thing to not only, of course, I do run events where people come to me, but it's a completely different thing for me to actually go to people, right? It was quite humbling. It was quite a discovery, like a kind of discovery session, you can say. Not discovery of just others, but also a way to discover myself, because I actually had to get myself out of my comfort zone a lot throughout this trip, right? And really be flexible, and also make my mind flexible and also open to hearing, because everybody from wherever they are, everybody has different perspective of life, all right? And that has been really really quite eye-opening for me. I think especially with the fact that I was moving from one country to another. It's like within just a few hours, it's like I'm here. By the time I soak in the energy from here, I'm moving to a different country. Sometimes the contrast has been very very shocking, actually. Sometimes the contrast has been shocking, sometimes it's been easy to just transition like that. Anyway, so it's been very humbling. It's been like, I think this is probably one of the best things that I have ever done in my business. Not only because of the experiences that everybody, it's really like it's so moving when I see the participants when they get to in touch with themselves, and there's been a lot of tears when they open up and stuff like that. not only because of that, but also I can see how I'm going to come out of this a completely different person and a much more expanded person, because some way somehow I have broadened my point of view, kind of like I have broadened my like, you know how sometimes we can have tunnel view, we can only see one way. It's like all of the sudden within just 1 week I could see things from so many different perspectives, from so many different perspectives. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. So if you were ever thinking what's happening, if you were ever thinking about doing any such thing, for me, actually discovering the way that other people live, discovering, going and seeing how, other people live in the world and stuff like that. I think what it's yeah, it does. Yeah, it is pretty amazing. It is one of the, it's kind of like it really opens our eyes up. It opens us up so much and so deeply, because people from, it's easy for me, for example, to stay in the United States, and almost everything is almost the same, kind of, right? It's the same culture, it's like that, it's a familiar. And then I think the thing that it will change a lot in the way that I do business from here, moving forward, is that now, like, when I am speaking with somebody from a certain country, at least the ones that I have visited, I can kind of associate kind of like the energy that accompanies the country that they are. At least I can take that into consideration. It doesn't mean that it applies to every single person, but at least now it's like before I had one point of view, and now I can actually go into my work with so many different point of view. I hope this makes sense, right? I hope this makes sense. Honestly, I think it's been one of the best things. This has been the best decision that I've made. I'm so glad I made the decision to do this summer. It has broadened my point of view so much, and I'll go back to the United States a completely, I can feel that already, that I am a completely different person within just, like, I've been here for, so I left on the 11th, and today is what, the actually I've only been gone for about 7 days. Today is the 17th, I believe. Right, but like my perspective has changed so much. It has changed so much since then. So if you ever were thinking about that, I think it's not a bad idea at all. It's not a bad idea. It's very humbling, actually. It is really, really humbling, because sometimes I think that a lot of the times when we have a point of view, when we, especially as coaches or as mentors, sometimes we can become arrogant in our mind, actually. And this has been very, very awakening for me. Sometimes we can become arrogant in our mind because we don't necessarily know everything that others are going through, right? We don't necessarily know all the background of what other people have gone through in their lives, and a lot of the time we make a lot of assumptions because of just what, because of our just like tunnel vision, like because we only have one perspective, one point of view. But we can, if we can open ourselves up enough and be humble enough, this is going to make me cry, oh God, and be humble enough. It's like that's a word that has come up a lot for me in my life lately. Humility. Be humble enough to listen to other people's perspective and really hear them. I think it will change all of our lives. I think it will change all of our lives. Yeah, I really dislike, Sarah says, I really dislike it when people prejudge others. Yes, which has been actually another big awakening for me this week, right? So I am here, I go to other people, I go to many places in the United States, even though I live in an area where like diversity is not, it's not a lot. There isn't a lot of diversity there. But for example, today this is very funny. You might find it funny. If you live in Europe, you may or may not find this funny. But anyways, so like I felt like certain areas when I was traveling through certain areas, it was pretty simple. It was a pretty, like pretty straightforward to go through it. But sometimes, okay, Patricia said growth is always empowering yet humbling. So happy for you. Yes, it is really humbling. Yeah, I like that word a lot lately. It feels so in alignment. Being humble, having like a humble mind, it feels so much in alignment with me these days. Yeah. So like, and I always pray that please allow me to keep a humble mind always and always and always, because an arrogant mind really can get us into a lot of trouble, and it just doesn't feel right. Right. Sarah says, sounds like you have made some amazing growth within yourself. Yes, it did, right? Just within a few days. Isn't that amazing? So I really dislike it when people prejudge others. Yes, right. So going back to my story, so like I was going through some borders, like it feels like here in Europe there are some borders that are harder, not harder, but like somewhere that you get more scrutiny than others, right? There was like in London, for example, it was so simple for me to go. I was even shocked. Like I was like, there was no asking if you have anything in your baggage. It was like, oh, come on in. If you have a US passport, just come on in. It's like the US and UK, no big difference. It's like, it felt to me like the UK considered US citizens as if we are like British, and like just come in. If you have a British passport or if you have a US passport, you all go through the same lane, right? And so for UK, I was like, oh my God, this is so incredible, simple, and I didn't expect this, and I expected to, like have checked my passport checked over and over again. But then there were other borders when I had to go through them. And it felt to me like I was getting extra scrutiny, right? And sometimes those borders, it's probably because, and I'm not even saying that this is them, right? This is me going into my mind and really self-analyzing and self-evaluating my state of mind. And so in certain borders, I felt like, oh my God, I am the only one that is being really checked and double checked, and my luggage is being checked and double checked. And when I look around, I feel like I am the only person that looks like me. And I'm like, is it because of the skin of my color, the color of my skin? And sometimes it just makes you wonder that, right? But at the same time, so when I notice that, I'm like, okay, well, it may or it may not be, right? This is a really deep self-reflection, because I do believe every single thing that we go through, it is for our own growth and also for our own expansion, and also for our own integration and our own self-love and all that. And so a lot of the times I don't even pay attention to, I don't even say things like, oh, it's because of the skin of my color, the color of my skin and stuff like that. But it made me pause, right? Sometimes it made me pause, because when I look around and then everybody is looks, skin color is completely different than mine, and then it feels like I'm the one that is really like at the double checking my luggage, and even going through security, my bags are the one that like are being stopped and stuff like that, and randomly stopped, for example, because the guy decided that my bag is the one that has to be randomly checked. It made me wonder, and then I realized it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't really matter if that is the reason, right? It doesn't really matter if the skin of my color is the reason why he decided to do whatever, or they decided to give me double scrutiny, or whatever it is. I think, I believe, and the way that I felt is, if I'm going through this, it's my reaction to it that matters the most, right? And not only my reaction from outside, but also my reaction inside, right, is my value. And I even caught myself sometimes. It is, tell me if you've experienced this, right? And then sometimes I look around and I think to myself, maybe if I was dressed better, right? Maybe if I was dressed better, then I wouldn't go through this. Or maybe if I had a Louis Vuitton bag, for example, then I wouldn't get all this scrutiny. All that is just us putting our value, right? This was a big shift, big awakening for me today. All that was just putting our value outside of ourselves, right? Outside of ourselves. So if that happens and then, right, that doesn't happen to me often anymore, but if that happens and then those thoughts start popping up, that just means that, oh, I need to feel my value deeper and deeper. I need to go deeper and deeper within so that I can feel my value from there, because a Louis Vuitton bag is not going to give me more value. That doesn't mean that I will never buy one. Doesn't mean that it's a bad thing or anything like that. But to buy it because I feel like that's the one thing that will give me for more value, that is insanity right there, in my opinion. In my opinion. And so those were kind of like the self-observations that I have been doing throughout my trip and throughout, like my cruising through Europe. And I know that when I came here, and even before I got here, I knew that it was going, because, whenever we put ourselves in like an environment that is not usual and doing things that are not usual, of course we will grow, of course we will expand. So it's been really my point to self-observe myself, to see, it's kind of self-evaluation, to see where I am, to see where my values are, to see how I can improve my being of service to others, and also to see where I can go from here. So that has been what's been going on so far. Sarah says, maybe they picked you out as they were drawn to your amazing energy. That is another way to look at it, isn't it? Right, Sarah? That's another way to look at it. It could be anything, right? It could be just because they wanted to hang around me for longer, but it's just the fact, so it's just like, where does our mind go, right? Where does our mind go first? And then how do we react to that when our mind goes there? And that for me has been the reflection, and that to me has been the most important part. Or sometimes I go into a hotel and then they look at me as, oh, are you sure you're in the right place, and stuff like that. Again, is it my mind, or is that really what's happening, right? Is it my mind, or is that really what's happening? It could be anything, but what matters the most is how am I reacting to it, or internally, and also how am I reacting to it externally, right? And as I'm saying this, I just realized that to some people, it will even be not relevant at all, because to some people it will be like, this doesn't even exist in my world, it doesn't even make sense. Like, we can't, you see what I mean? And to some people it will feel like, oh, I live this every single day. And it's all in our mind, right? And it's all, it's all how we process it. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It just means that how do we manage it? How do we deal with it? How do we process it? And how do we react to it? And in any case, what I have seen is that we all collectively, right? There's no need to blame anybody for anything, right? We are all collectively creating this reality that we are all living now. And a lot of the times we can catch ourselves blaming others. It's their fault, blah, blah, blah. They did this to me. They did this to us. But like, what's happening for myself internally? How am I reacting to whatever is happening? I think that is the most important thing. So that's what I wanted to come here very quickly to share with you. I posted a video on YouTube today. I shot that video when I was in Utrecht in the Netherlands. Yeah, we just posted it earlier, so if you want to check it out, go on my channel and YouTube. You will see it. In that video, I share about the change in perspective around fear that changed everything for me. And happy birthday, Patience! Oh my God, I'm so glad I got to catch you at this time. Happy birthday, Patience! I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you had a wonderful day. Yeah. Anyways, so that's what's happening. And so if you are in Europe, if you are either in Brussels or Paris and you want to join us, I only have 2 more events to host. You want to join us either in Brussels or in Paris, again, you are more than welcome. We'd love to have you there. And we've been having a lot of fun. A lot of people have been really getting really deeply touched by the training that we've been doing together. And it's been, again, one more time, it's been really humbling. Yeah, really humbling. Some of the things that I've heard in this tour have made me feel like, oh my God, Dihessa, you are doing something right. From people that share with me how, just like I've heard so many people, oh my God, it's been really quite incredible. Tell me they heard about me from their friend, or they heard about me from their sister. They heard about me from XYZ. And the reason why they showed up is because maybe they were going through this depression and they did some exercise with me. And like my mind has been really blown away. How like somebody can tell me they've been following me for a couple of years now, and just by doing the free trainings that I've shared every now and then, how they've taken it, they've owned it, and it's changed their lives. There's nothing, right? There's nothing that can light me up better than that. Like, it's been pretty incredible. Again, there are so many different facets of this tour that has been so humbling and so awakening and so opening. Even it's opened me up in such deep ways, right? Even if you look at watching this now, I think if you can sense it, you can sense that even at the moment that I am such a different person, right? That I am such a different person just for having been here, right? Being of service to others is, I will say this, I've said this so many times before, and I'll say this over and over and over again. That is the fastest way to heal ourselves. That is the fastest way to really find our love for ourselves. I believe that like 100%, because that has been my own experience, right? Because that has been my own experience. So with that said, I have a bath. For the first time during this tour, I just ran myself a beautiful bubble bath. I'm going to soak in it. I have been in more airplanes than I care to count. In the past 7 days, I have been in more different, hotel rooms than I care to count. But now it's almost like, I think it's almost like 1 a.m. here. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. It's probably like, I think it's probably like maybe 4 p.m. in Denver right now, or 5 p.m. on the East Coast, something like that. But I really wanted to stop by, right? My friend, Marie Blanche, she brought me these chocolates earlier, Belgium chocolate, and thank you so much also, Patience. Like, I've been so spoiled from the Netherlands to Ireland yesterday to now. Like, by the time I go home, I'll get like, I don't know how many pounds, but it's been just delicious chocolate after delicious chocolate after delicious chocolate. So I ate a lot of it this evening, and it seems like it's keeping me awake. But I'm going to take my bath, and then I'll soak. I'll turn in, and because I have a very early flight tomorrow morning. All right. So if you have any questions whatsoever, a lot of people have been asking me, this is a question that has come up. Actually, a lot of people have been asking me, Dihessa, how did you get to do that? How is it that you can reach so many people and then across the world, and that you can do events and then they can show up and stuff like that? How do you do it? And because of course I've been running my, yes, Patience, thank you. I've been running my online business for the past few years now, and really all I utilized is social media, the power of social media, the power of creating my what do you call it, my message on social media, and also the power of reaching as many people as possible on social media with my message. So what I'm going to be doing very soon, hopefully, I think when I'm in Paris, I have a few days off when I'm in Paris, so I'll have time to like be a tourist. I have a lot of family also there, so I'll do that when I'm there, but I'll make a little bit of time to do plan some trainings for and for sharing how I created that, just in case you are looking to do something like that. Not necessarily travel the world or anything like that, but like how the process that I took to reach as many people as possible. So much so that now I can go out and sell a lot of my programs and reach as many people as possible in the world. All right, so if you are interested, give me a thumbs up or let me know in the comments here. And in any case, I know a lot of people have already asked me. I am going to create that training. I'll probably make it like a webinar, a live webinar, or I'll probably make it a video. So if you're watching this and you're interested in this, help me out. Let me know if you'd rather have like a live training, a live webinar where I explain all this and you can ask any question you want, or if it's preferable for you for me to actually just create like snippet, like videos, a series of videos where I share all the ins and outs of doing this for yourself. All right, so with that said, I am going to take my bath, and thank you so much for watching this. Whether you've been here live with me, thank you for being live here with me, or whether you watch the replay, I really, really appreciate you. You have no idea. I say this all the time. I'm so grateful for you being here and for you allowing me to share myself with you in this way. That helps me grow, and hopefully it brings some more light in your life. I love you. Good night if you are in Europe. I can say that now because I'm in Europe. I know it's night time. Good night if you are in Europe. I think in Australia it's probably daytime. Good day if you are in Australia, New Zealand and stuff like that. And have a nice afternoon if you are in the US. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Right. What else did I need to say? Okay, so there's that new video on YouTube. Go check it out. I talked a lot about fear and the shift that changed everything for me. The energetic shift around fear, that changed everything for me. That's what's happening on YouTube. And then the other thing that you can check out is on my Instagram. I have been sharing a lot of what's been happening on my Instagram stories. So if you want to see everything that's been happening, like this evening I had the loveliest dinner with Marie Blush. Oh my god, it was so amazing. We had this very delicious dinner, and then we walked like right next to the water, on the bridge in Geneva here, and so I shared a lot of that on my Instagram story. So if you want to follow my discoveries in Europe here, go to Instagram, and then my handle there is Dihessa B. Dihessa B. Dihessa B as in Bodjona, B as in boy. That's my last initial, right? All right, so I love you. Good night. I'm going to go take a bath now. Bye before it gets cold. Bye. Later.